So good evening everyone. So to this video I will discussing or I will summarize the final lesson 2 which entitled of the aspect of gene therapy. So when we talk about the gene therapy also means gene therapy is a transfer of genetic material to specific cell of patient in an effort of biological response to fight of eliminate a disease because the transplantation of normal genes into cell in the place of missing or defective ones in order to correct genetic disorder. Or gene therapy is a medical field which and focuses on the genetic modification of cell to produce the therapeutic effect or the treatment of disease by repairing or reconstructing defective genetic materials. Because in general lifestyle have greatly benefited from technology, so which is applicable for types. First is medicine, secondly is medical science, and next is gene therapy, and lastly is woman gene therapy. So medicine is the one example of scientific of technological innovation that made a breakthrough in the area of woman health. Next is a medical science. Medical science also is the study or how the woman body works. And the third is a gene therapy. So gene therapy actually is replace a faulty gene or adds a new genes in an attempt of cure disease or improves your body ability to fight disease. Gene therapy holds from promise for the treating a wide range of disease such as a cancer, cystic fibrosis, heart disease, diabetes, hemophilia, and it's for related women. And lastly is woman gene therapy. So woman gene therapy is a step to modify or manipulate the express of a gene or the alter the biological properties of living cell for therapeutic use. So let's proceed to the basic of process. There are the several approaches to gene therapy, which include the replacement of mutant gene and inactivation of a mutant gene and introducing a new gene. So replacement of mutant gene, that is causes this disease with a healthy copy of gene inactive of knockout mutant gene that is functioning properly. Inactivation of mutant gene, this can be achieved by applying the nucleus only, allowing the error prone non-homologous and joining pathway to introduce instead and inserted and deletion at the cleavage site, disrupting to the gene sequence, introducing the new gene. Also, this is the DNA into the nucleus of the cell. So let's proceed to the two types of gene therapy, which include the somatic gene therapy and germline gene therapy. So somatic gene therapy it involves to the manipulation of gene and cell that will be helpful that a patient but not inherited to the next generation, because the somatic gene therapy can be defined as the ability to introduce genetic material or RNA, unapproached cell types or tissue is just as a way that alters subtle patterns of gene expression to produce the therapeutic effects. Somatic therapies target gene in specific types of cell is lung cells, skin, skin cell, blood cell, and etc. And germline gene therapy. Germline gene therapy is when DNA is transferred into the cell or produce reproductive eggs or sperm in the body. These types of therapy allows for the correction of disease causing gene and variants that are destined to be passed down from the generation to generation. For example, suppose a brain tumor forming by rapidly dividing cancer cell, or the reason of tumor is is due to the sum of defective mutant gene. The therapy chosen for this in case would be to use herpes virus that had a virulence removed rendering and harmless. So let's proceed to the stem cell gene therapy. So stem gene therapy or stem cell is with the potential to develop into many different types of cell into the body to the serve of reproductive system for the body. They are the unspecialized, so they cannot of specific function in the body. They have the potential of to become specialized cell, just as a muscle cell, blood cell, and brain cell. And embryonic stem cell. Our stem cell is derived from the undifferentiated inner mass a cell of woman embryo. To embryonic stem cell and pluripotent, meaning they are able to grow. Different into the derivatives of the three primary germs layer ectoderm, endoderm, or mesoderm. Embryonic stem cell are obtained from the inner cell mass of the blastocyte. Blastocyte are mainly hollow ball or cell that in the woman for 3 to 5 days after the egg cell is fertilized sperm. Tissue specific stem cell and induced pluripotent stem cell. So the beautics of gene therapy, they are the ethical issue involved in the therapy. So they are in types of the 5 questioning. So I chose the 2 question because this is my interested for answering. So first is, how can good bad issue and gene therapy of the quiz. So the positive aspect of gene therapy is apparent. It can genetic disease before they can begin or eliminate suffering for the future generation. Gene therapy is a good technique for disease and not research yet. All of us carry defected gene and may not know it. And second is who decide which treat abnormal and which constitutes and disability or disorder. So will the high cost of gene therapy make it available? Another controversy involved to the germline the therapy. Another controversy involves to the germline therapy are discussed. Germline therapy is a genetic modification of germ cell that will pass of genes on the next generation. So germline gene therapy, this could be done in order to avoid genetic disease or in order to introduce of enhancing genetic variation. There have been no trials of woman germs line gene therapy, and then there is informal moratorium rather in a scientific community or in trying just as the experiment and woman's. So the advantages of germline gene therapy also enables to the correction of disease causing mutation that are intended to be fast or on from the generation to generation, sparing future generation from the suffering the disease and enables the generation being treated of lead a healthy life. So the disadvantages, the effects of gene therapy are the unpredictable. Even the therapy successfully cures of disease or other mountains of potentially and introduced because germline genes therapy target that reproductive skill. Any additional mutation that are introduced or result will be passed on the next generation. So this is my end of lesson. So I hope na marami kayong na-learn. So see once again, good evening, and especially to our instructor, Sir Maharis, and good evening, sir, and keep safe always and be careful. And that's all, and good evening.